Oh, I'm intoxicated. I got a legend on the way. I'm falling for you, baby. What can I do to make you stay?
I really enjoyed making SCP videos, and I really miss it actually. Uploaded by a guy by the name of Endoran, I don't know. It's a video basically with him expressing why he feels like this game, SCP Secret Laboratory, is not a very good one, and I personally have a lot to say about it, in my opinion. I feel like a lot of the points he makes are disingenuous. Some of them I feel are factually correct, but I'll go along and address these issues one by one as I go through the video. Also, link will be in the description for this video in its entirety, because I will be making cuts, as there are some very, very, very long scenes in this clip. I do honestly miss making videos for the SCP community and just recording videos in general. We've had plans recently to start up a new server, a new SCP server, so new funny moments videos and possibly other tutorial videos might be uploaded as well in the near future. If you do like this kind of content where I just look at other people's SCP videos and give my own little take on it, do leave me a like, give me a subscription. If you have any suggestions or criticisms, do leave them in the comments below. If you've got any other videos you want me to look at, again, do leave them in the comments below. I'm always looking, I'm always checking, even months after I've uploaded a video, I'm still looking at the comments, see if anyone's posted anything. If they have, I'd like to leave a reply. And without saying anything else, let's get right into this.
SCP Secret Lab was released in late 2017.
Oh yeah, by the way, this video is a little bit quiet, so you might have to turn up my volume. And yeah, that's my avatar. Yeah, that's my avatar.
It started to gain traction, mostly due to a vacuum of there being no good SCP games since Containment Breach.
Although that statement is completely subjective, and by all means, if you think that, then fair enough. However, I feel like there have been a good couple SCP games. Think about SCP Unity, which is a Containment Breach remake, and then you also have SCP-682 game. They're not bad, they're not terrible. I mean, I've played the Unity remake and it's actually pretty good. Both these games are still in early access. However, you got to think how many developers are actually making SCP games. Like, it's not the most popular franchise in the world, and you got to think about the people actually making these games are small indie developers, and a lot of them probably don't even earn money back on what they're making. So just any games at all actually would be a blessing for this community in its own, let alone good ones. And of course, things like that will take time. I think we should just be grateful for what we have. We don't have a lot, and if you're complaining at what we do have, then try and make your own SCP game and see how that goes.
Which by now is aging fast. All other SCP games were either in development or cancelled, and is so bad its good gameplay became a hit. Secret Lab was the biggest meme in the SCP community.
Well, they say all good if the memes are good, and trust me, in this game, the memes are pretty damn spicy.
But it started to get old. There are only so many times before a game goes from a funny meme you play with your friends to a stale joke. The novelty is starting to wear out fast. Let me tell you why.
Now that fucking scared the shit out of me. Like, that literally went from 0 to 100 in less than a millisecond. Whew. Well, let's just see what he's got to say.
The most defining features of the game, the SCPs, who in the lore had dimension jumping, neck snapping, and pestilence curing abilities, are stark contrasts to the Secret Lab ones, and usually end up being the least fun ones to play.
First of all, don't say what I or I do not find fun, because you cannot speak on anyone's behalf when it comes to what we enjoy. Second of all, well, this is the type of game where you play as the monster. There are multiple very, very popular games, actually, where this is the case. When you think about Friday the 13th, last year, Evolve, Dead by Daylight, those sort of games, where you play as the monster, as a player, and then you hunt down players as well, as the monster. Granted, SCP does have a wider variety of monsters in those games, and again, these monsters can sometimes have very restricting abilities when it comes to actually what they can do and how they can interact with the players. However, it has to keep as playable as possible while also being as consistent to the lore as possible, as there is a good balance. There cannot be either too close to the lore or too playable, as you will quite heavily remove what makes SCP SCP. And I'm not going to say this is an easy task, because it's probably not. However, just because you don't necessarily find it fun doesn't mean that other people don't. Like, it's always good playing as an SCP when, you know, you've got your friends at another call or whatever, and you mow them down as those 9-6, and then you just have this bombardment of messages on your other screen, you know, just people being mad at you. And trust me, it never gets old.
173 is ineffective against groups larger than 2 people.
It's not fair to bash the game if you don't know how to play the character now, is it?
Especially if they have anything stronger than an MP7 on them. 096 is a bloody joke, and is easily gotten rid of if you get in an elevator if you somehow manage to aggravate him. 939 can be somewhat useful and fun, and its communication abilities with other humans is one of the few interesting parts of the game. 106 is kind of underwhelming, especially after seeing him in Containment Breach, where he could just pop out of nowhere and you'd be running around and having an oh fuck oh shit moment. I think there are plans to make his teleportation more effective, but still, it's a massive letdown.
First of all, have you actually seen 106? Like, seeing that guy in the corridor definitely is a oh fuck oh shit moment, because that guy's absolutely terrifying in this game. Also, you're complaining about the SCPs being underpowered, I assume. You know, not being able to get the guys under trivial matters like an elevator. However, if the SCPs were buffed and they were too powerful, would you be complaining then? I would say so. You probably would be. I mean, that is the issue, right? Just the game playing quote-unquote unplayable. Now, it's just the nature of the type of game that's being made. It's an SCP game. Unfortunately, there are limits to what the devs can do when it comes to actually having a quote-unquote playable game and also being as strict to the lore as possible. The main reason people like this kind of franchise in the first place is because of, well, the lore. I doubt a single person who's actually, you know, played this game has not read anything, at least anything about an SCP. It's the lore that gets people intrigued. Obviously, good gameplay helps. Oh my god, I'm dying. And besides, this is not like an issue that the devs are unaware of. They're constantly trying to fix this issue with constant balances, bug fixes. They've released surveys, they're doing multiple Q&As to try and get the community's view on the state of the game, the state of the SCPs especially, and try and fix it. They care a lot about this game, and from what I can tell, you think that they don't, but they really, really do.
049 is slow, but his instant kill makes up for it a bit. His zombies serve little purpose other than cannon fodder, which is the point of them. It's just that the humans who are resurrected to be his zombies have to play as the useless cannon fodder.
Well, yeah, arguably this is one of the flaws of the game, where, you know, if you get killed by the Doctor, then yes, you do get resurrected as the quote-unquote useless cannon fodder. Most people are mature enough to just, you know, get up and deal with it. Like, it's not a permanent position. Plus, you get to meme around as a helicopter, and to be completely honest, that does sound pretty cool. And before you ask, no, that isn't my end. This video was just recorded in 720p, and now I'm trying to make it into, you know, 1080p. So just bear with the quality, okay, guys?
You might be thinking
how I could really go for a milkshake right now.
we're getting a better game for cutting corners in the lore.
Damn it.
And I guess we're getting, yes, a playable game, but it's not playable. Not by any stretch.
I'm sorry, but that's just straight up bullshit. To say that the game is completely unplayable is just factually incorrect. You can see that the game is literally playing in the background of your video. But if you mean more in gameplay mechanics, this game is definitely playable. I literally just hopped on as a break from my editing, and I was legitimately fucking scared. I'm sweating at one point because of a fucking chase from an SCP that I had. Like, this game is still retaining scares, even with nearly 200 hours of gameplay. To say it's not playable, or to say that you don't enjoy playing it, well, of course that is subjective. However, it goes to show that just because you don't enjoy it at a certain level doesn't mean other people won't as well. I'm tired of nitpicking at the exact same point over and over again. You guys get the general idea. But if this is the kind of game where you don't enjoy playing the monster, if you don't enjoy, you know, sometimes having to sacrifice your gameplay in order to, you know, enhance the ones of others, if that's not something you enjoy, then you really shouldn't be playing this game in the first place. There are other games that will probably suit your needs more, where, you know, SCPs and just monsters in general are controlled by AI, and other things. I'm just gonna skip to the point where you're not talking about how the game is so unplayable and fun.
Once you put a player behind them, they act like humans. You've lost every ounce of excitement for both the players playing or encountering it. The fear of coming across something that you couldn't reason with is now controlled by someone who has a choice to kill you or not. All of a sudden, your demonic statue from hell that relentlessly snaps necks is a minor inconvenience and isn't at all sinister.
If the authenticity of an SCP is an issue to you, why don't you just play on a roleplay server? Why not go on a server where they enforce rules which make people play as if an SCP was actually there and not a player, if that was such an issue? This game has a lot of freedom. That's one of the reasons why I like to play it. You can play the game any way you like. Different servers can host any way they like, and there are plenty of servers who enforce that you must play as if you were that character. It's called roleplay, and if you want a more authentic SCP multiplayer experience, join a roleplay server. It's not hard. Fucking hell, that actually gets me every single time, and I didn't even mean to cut it there. Like, that was the end of the SCP part of the video. So, gameplay. Woo.
You hear the Secret Lab devs talk about gameplay over lore, and I mean, fair enough. You can't have 096 charging around like he does in the SCP tales, because that would be overpowered. But no, that's not the case.
Wait. By saying that's not the case, are you implying that SCP-096 does run around like he does in the lore? At 40 kilometers an hour? Killing everyone he sees? Is that what you're implying by saying that's not the case? Because it's really not the case. If anything, that just means that, yeah, the devs are putting gameplay over lore, because if they put lore first, then, well, you wouldn't have a playable game.
The gameplay is clunky and the balancing is even more horrible. And it's sure as hell not a horror game. Not by any stretch. Using the same spooky effect when you see one of the spookies does not make a spooky game. Containment Breach is a horror game. This isn't.
However, what is the difference between this game and, Containment Breach? The main difference is the fact that it's multiplayer. When you add other players into the mix who may not even necessarily be playing the game for the spooky aspect of it, you add a whole new set of variables which can obviously ruin the experience of others, like with any multiplayer game, which would then take away the horror, as, you have other outside sources who may not necessarily be participating in the way you want it to. The atmosphere is then ruined. However, the point of the game is a multiplayer style Containment Breach. If you want the atmosphere of Containment Breach, and you want the SCPs of Containment Breach, then go play Containment Breach, I suppose. Granted, I feel like the devs could add a little bit more into the game which could make it more of a horror game, like, adding more wider variety of noises when you see SCPs, something like that. But at the same time, there's probably more important things that they have to be working on, bug fixes, more content to keep the game fresh, more game assets, content fixes, testing, art and design, models, that kind of thing, which are probably more important than adding a new spooky noise. You gotta think that they need to keep the game fresh in order to keep a player base.
One of my biggest qualms are the weapons. I mean, this is kind of a nitpick, but why does the P90 use 9mm and eject cartridges to the left in front of the player's face? I mean, you could just try and show that you care, because this looks like you really don't care.
The MP7 is a type of PDW, personal defense weapon, which does use 4.65mm rounds, which, granted, they don't use the 9mm rounds in the game, which, yeah, that should be fixed, but it's not really at the top of everyone's list. I doubt the majority of people even noticed. And even then, with the bullet thing coming into your face, that does happen on this weapon. Bullets do eject into people's faces with this weapon. And to say that this slight thing that is wrong with this slight detail which is incorrect, in a game which isn't necessarily focused on realism, to say that the developers don't care, you know how dumb that actually makes you look. It makes you look like a bit of an arsehole, to be completely fair. to say that these developers who've put their heart and soul into this game, who don't really get much out of it, considering they can't make the game purchasable, they get donations from Patreon, and they're still putting their heart and soul into this game. They're so in touch with their community, asking for new ideas, they're doing live streams, they've got their server where they can talk to fans. To say that they don't care about this game is demonstrably false, and it is a bold claim at that, and that's as much lenience as I'll give you on that. Also, now that I've got guns in my search history, I'm probably on some FBI watch list, so if you never see me again, you know why. Looking back, I was probably a bit too harsh there, but this is already taking up a lot of time as it is. I've turned this 4-minute bit of this 15-minute video into a 15-minute video of itself, so I'll probably cut this into another part. The main reason I wanted to upload this in the first place is because I do really enjoy, you know, making these videos. I really do miss it, especially with SCP content. It really, really is fun for me. If you do want to see another part, I mean, I'll probably make one anyway, but if you are interested, do let me know. If you do have anything else you want me to have a look at, do let me know as well. I'd also like to think that in terms of my other videos, my quality in terms of my microphone and my editing quality has made a noticeable increase. If you think so as well, please do let me know. And yeah, I'll just cut this into 2 parts, maybe 3, and I'll see you in the next part.